People sometimes think, oh, we don't use that because it's kind of garbage. Well, is it garbage or is it somebody else's treasure? How can we utilize that? How can we make this into something creative without having to completely lose profits? And that's also where you kind of benefit from nailing certain goals for food costs.
Hey, it's Lauren with Toast Education. Today, I'm going to take you through a series of videos that will help you make the most of your restaurant's menu. Your menu is so much more than just a list of food you offer. It's your restaurant's first impression. Because of this, your menu could be working a lot harder to help you achieve your restaurant's business goals. In this video, you'll learn to harness the power of menu engineering to analyze and improve your menu items, bringing you more profit. We'll talk about your menu prices, food costs, and how to better understand profitability and popularity of your dishes so that you can seize opportunities to make more money on your menu items. But then we'll get to the fun part. We'll break down your menu matrix: stars, puzzles, plowhorses, and dogs. Trust me, these names will all make sense soon. With some real-life examples and even chat with restaurant staff to hear what they have to say. So buckle up and get ready for a ride. We'll start with Menu Engineering 101. Here's the deal. Menu data is your friend. Menu engineering is simply the practice of analyzing items on your menu to determine their profitability and their popularity, and then adjusting your menu to reflect your findings and ultimately increase revenue. Now, the 80-20 rule states that 80% of a restaurant's sales often come from just 20% of its menu items. What does this mean? Well, it means that you'll want to take the time to figure out where the excess is and what menu items might be dragging down your business. In this video, I'll share with you some great resources to calculate your menu items' popularity. Then we'll get to talking numbers and how to calculate menu profitability, and then how to consider both of these fundamentals together to ultimately make your menu work better for you. Now, if math is not your strong suit, don't worry. It's not mine either. That's why I promise to make this as simple as possible. Let's start. Menu item popularity is basically the number of times each item has been sold throughout a given period of time. Now, luckily, Toast tracks this for you in your product mix report. Here, you can sort, filter, and search by categories like menu items sold, sales categories, and net sales, and really pull whatever data is valuable for your time period. While I'm here, you can also check out the Food Waste Education Hub and Tracker, where you can track waste directly on your POS and take action on food waste insights. Lastly, remember that your front of house and back of house staff are full of great insights. Ask around and see if a particular menu item has piqued guest interest or been super buzzy lately. Maybe your chef improved one of the sauces, or maybe your servers has mastered the upsell for an item. It's really important to get these anecdotal perspectives to complement the hard data that you find in reports. So now you know how to look for menu item popularity. Let's get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of menu item profitability. Now, this will require some math, but bear with me. This stuff is super important. Let's break down some foundational concepts that go into the cost of your dish. Now, when calculating these numbers, you can use all of the costs at your restaurants, taking into account labor, supplies, bills, all that stuff. But for this video, we're just going to stick to menu food costs. Luckily, Toast's blog on the line has a ton of helpful and free resources, plus articles, calculators, all that kind of stuff. Check it out and search around by scanning the QR code on the screen right here. So menu item profitability all boils down to one key equation: the price of the dish minus the cost of the dish divided by the price of the dish. So you might be familiar with the phrase COGS, or cost of goods sold. This is a great place to start. Restaurant COGS are the cost of the ingredients that your restaurant uses in a given period of time. If you use xtraCHEF by Toast, you can calculate this there, or you can visit toast.help/COGS, where we have a free restaurant metrics calculator that you can download. Now, within your COGS, you can calculate a menu item's food cost. This is how much each individual dish costs you. Add up the cost of each ingredient for one portion of the menu item. You can assess this either by batches or individual servings. The total number of all your ingredient costs will give you your menu items food cost. Let's take avocado toast, for example, one of my favorites. Pretend I own a restaurant. We're gonna break down each ingredient that goes into the dish and then the quantity required. So for example, we use half an avocado for the avocado toast, and my restaurant purchased the whole avocado for $2.50. So the avocado cost me $1.25 to make the dish. Then we'll go ahead and do that for the rest of the ingredients in the avocado toast. Your menu item food cost would be the dollar amount of all of these ingredients added up. So in this case, $4.26 is the total menu item food cost for our avocado toast. Now, your profit per menu item is the difference between how much the menu item costs and how much you sell it for. So, since we're just talking about food costs, let's calculate the profitability of our avocado toast. So let's say that my restaurant wants to charge $9 for that avocado toast, and the food cost that we just calculated was $4.26. That means that my profit for the menu item is going to get me at around $4.74. Maybe I'm not so bad at math. To easily compare this to other menu items, it could be helpful to put this into a percentage so that you can learn your profit margin for the item. So you would take this number, divide it by $9, which is what it sold for, and then times that by 100 to get a percentage, which in this case would be 53%. Now remember, today we're just talking about menu item profitability using strictly our food costs, so 53% is a little higher than you typically see. These calculations will help you analyze how your food sales affect your net income. We suggest that you do this exercise for your menu items and stack rank them against each other to compare how each one is performing. Okay, so we talked about both menu item popularity and profitability. But why is it important to consider both of them at the same time? Well, you could have an item with a really high profit margin, but if no one is ordering it, who cares? And vice versa. If you have a wildly popular item, but it's losing your restaurant money, that's not good either. You'll want to consider both of these very important components to understand where they sit on the matrix, to find your dogs, puzzles, plow horses, and stars. Okay, so you might be a little confused, but don't worry. Let's pay a visit to a couple Toast customers to see how they make the most of their menu. It'll be fun. Let's learn about the menu engineering matrix and the 4 different types of menu performers. You have your stars, which are highly profitable and very popular. Your puzzles, which are highly profitable but not so popular. Your plow horses, which are not very profitable but very popular. And then you have your dogs, which are not as popular and not very profitable. You want to figure out how to cater and ultimately optimize your menu items that could be anywhere on the matrix. Enough of me though. Why don't we hear from some of the real experts here, you all. Come with me to a couple of our beloved Toast customers where we will hear their spin on each of these menu performers.
I'm sorry, what?
Your stars are your most popular and most profitable dishes.
The ingredients used to make these dishes are reasonably cheap, and you're constantly tasked with buying more inventory because your guests simply can't get enough.
The fish charcuterie board is byproduct fish scrap from several other menu items. Cross-utilization is extremely important for menus, especially with food costs, and also not wasting.
The consistency and care that goes into it is the reason why people come back. I mean, it's what people are like searching out.
It's one of the well-rounded dishes. I love the black garlic oil. I love the chashu pork. It's a 24-hour slow cook.
It looks really pretty. So there's like a gradient of white fat. Then there's a marinated soft-boiled egg right here. And then the noodles right in the middle being showcased.
Your menu should really highlight your stars. Here are some suggestions. Tip 1, Whether you're using a digital or a physical menu, place your star in the center or top right corner of your menu.
That's usually what everyone's favorite is.
Tip number 2, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's really a testimonial to the fact that the care and the love goes into it daily. We don't need to change it.
Tip number 3, promote them in any way you can.
We encourage the idea of like not only knowing the menu, but finding those favorites that you had and really kind of working with a guest.
If you use a loyalty program, use those items as free items rewards. They don't cost a lot to make, and people like them, so you know you're gonna bring diners in.
Puzzles are dishes that are particularly profitable. However, they're not super popular for a multitude of reasons.
We need options and like, it's really good. It's just now it's a matter of like really kind of bridging that, hey, try this. So that might be something we would throw out. We call it XL. Like extra love is like we call it comp. So like we might XL that to somebody and be like, hey, you wanna try something really cool?
The tofu sandwich is obviously not the first hitter for somebody just walking in the restaurant. I don't think a majority of people are walking into a restaurant and thinking tofu. They're thinking, can I get a burger or can I get a lobster roll? However, I think having access for everybody who walks into the restaurant and they say, oh, I'm actually vegan or vegetarian, this provides a great option for them. And it's also one of the best things on the menu.
Here are 4 things to do with puzzles to increase popularity. Tip number 1, improve the description that you use to sell the item.
If you hear words like, I don't know, succulent or fall off the bone, savory, sweet, that's really nice. It gets you going and it gets you drooling a little bit. I got myself drooling, I'm not gonna lie.
If you use Toast online ordering or mobile order and pay, you can use item tags to differentiate the items as well for guests on categories.
In Toast, when we input new items, there's like a box where you could put information about that item. They have the allergens listed in that space as well, just to kind of make sure that they have that information available to them.
This is also helpful for menu engineering because it gives another dimension to your reporting. Tip number 2, switch up the item's presentation or taste.
Feast with your eyes first.
You can have the plate that makes it shine. You can place things in different areas to accentuate it. You can drizzle something over it. You know, with serving liquid, you become like kind of a soup archaeologist.
With any digital menu, you can experiment with menu changes by posting a photo on the menu. This lets guests see the dish before they order it.
When you haven't been in the restaurant, you're not familiar exactly with what a dish looks like or how it's presented, you know, that kind of can change your expectations of that dish. And we've got fantastic food that not only tastes good, but looks really good. People are more inclined to order, especially if they've never been here, if they can see what they're going to be getting.
Tip number 3, make the items part of a special for a period of time, where your puzzles are front and center and offered at a discount.
We do our oyster happy hour, which are buy one, get one oysters by the half dozen or the dozen.
You can also use the Toast offers tool to promote menu items, like a buy one, get one, or a save a certain amount of dollar or percentage on specific items, and then apply it to a specific menu item to boost sales. Lastly, tip number 4, tell your staff to recommend these items.
We're actually very good at communicating with the guests and figuring out what they like first and doing our recommendations.
Your plow horses are popular, but not cheap to make.
With your plow horses, it's all about increasing profit, and even a small increase makes a big difference.
Especially when it's an item that's frequently ordered.
The production in kimchi is extensive. You have to be set up in a kitchen to properly produce kimchi consistently the right way. Think of what that takes, and then when you purchase it, that cost gets passed on to us.
It is on the more expensive side for sure. However, the brown butter is kind of the key component as well as the bun. Our buns are served, instead of a classic hot dog bun, they are a bao bun. So they are super soft, super delicate. So it is just like an unctuous, rich bite all the way through.
Tip 1, negotiate with your vendors to get a better price if you buy in bulk or shop around for a new vendor.
I do as much shopping around as possible, looking for the best deals that I can get for quality products at the best price that I can get them at. If one vendor's got produce on sale and the other one doesn't, and they're of equal quality, well, of course go with the one that's on sale.
Tip number 2, alter your portion sizes.
That's a really important way for restaurants to control costs, and I think that it's kind of like ethically our responsibility. We as an industry kind of consume a lot, and sometimes you see an incredible level of waste.
Or try being more intentional about those portions.
It's like the bows. We can add multiple bows to an order. There's a table of 3 and you said you wanted the KFC bow, we can add a third to it. We try to make it so that it is as easy for the guests as possible.
Tip number 3, strategic pairing. Pair your plow horse items with a drink because most things go better with a drink.
For the brown butter lobster roll, I really try to push like a Narragansett, like a easy beer, something local. It's just like it's like a classic pairing, lobster roll, local beer.
Your dogs are menu items that aren't really popular and they don't contribute to your bottom line.
Let's be honest, no one's ordering them, the ingredients are costly, and they're spoiling in your walk-in, so keeping this dish on the menu is costing your restaurant money.
It's heartbreaking that you use the term dog. I'm joking. It's just not a high performer.
We don't sell a ton of clam bakes. However, ordering mussels is not just ordering by the pound. You usually have to order them by a 10-pound bag, which means if we don't sell that many clam bakes, I'm gonna be throwing out mussels.
Here are a few things that you can do with your dogs to increase their popularity and profitability, or cut your losses and move on. Tip number 1, rebrand and reinvent the item.
Ezra had I think it was a salad that was on the menu that just wasn't doing too great. We kind of changed some of the identifying characteristics that we put on the menu, and it's done a lot better since then. We've had similar things at the bar. We've had cocktails with some really great ingredients that guests might not have been familiar with, and we kind of just change the name of the cocktail, switch out some of the ingredients that we put on the menu, and then all of a sudden the drink does much, much better.
Tip number 2, make it a special or a limited time offer.
So the bowl of the day, we basically just talk with the chefs to figure out what they want to do, and we never have the same bowl twice. Some days it's access inventory, but it also can go off of a feeling, or we'll even ask the servers what bowl do they want to choose for the day, then it helps them sell it to the guests.
Tip number 3, if all else fails, it's okay to remove it from the menu. If rebranding, reinventing, and spotlighting the dog on your menu doesn't increase its popularity, just remove it altogether. It's not worth raising the price to increase profitability, because if people are not ordering it, they won't be drawn in by an even more expensive price. By the way, it's okay if something doesn't work out. That is the beauty of menu engineering. Okay, so now that you have an understanding of those 4 menu categories and how to consider profitability and popularity for each, let's start thinking about how you can apply these changes to your menu. Once you know where all your menu items fall in popularity and profitability, it's time to engineer your menu to reflect your findings. Audit your menu at least twice a year to get an accurate list of your restaurant's stars, puzzles, plow horses, and dogs.
When those kind of seasonal changes happen, it's very important to kind of nail them and jump on them when they can.
Chef specials are a great way to get rid of inventory that's gotta go and to create very high profit margin items that'll boost your revenue.
Everything is profit. Every single time a burger goes in the trash, that is money that is lost.
But it's also an opportunity for your chef and cooks to get creative and delight your regulars with something that's only offered for a limited time.
There's plenty of wasted food across the world, especially in restaurants, and all of those things can be utilized for dishes, whether it's saving the onion skins for onion ash or onion ash oils to go in soups. Everything is utilized.
If you include your specials in your menu engineering analysis, you might realize that a special is a star and deserves a permanent spot on your menu.
It's truly loved the way everything is done.
These are 2 topics I could talk about all day. When it comes to drinks and dessert, consider having a separate menu for each, like a printout or a dedicated section of your physical and online ordering menu for these items.
You're looking at one thing, that's your focus. I like to give people the menus with the drink side up first, because people like to think about drinks first.
A well-engineered drinks menu can also help increase your profit significantly.
There's so much care in curating of our cocktail menu that is done. We try to really have that focus on, hey, whoa, that's really interesting.
And there's even like a little volcano in the middle for the overproof stuff. It's just important for it to look pretty because, as I said before, you feast with your eyes first.
Also, encourage staff to drop the dessert menu off before dropping the check to tempt sweet tooth lovers. It works for me every time.
If there's kids, I'll always mention dessert because they can usually convince the parents.
Desserts are usually stars, as most ingredients are low cost. So if you don't do dessert currently, it's worth a try.
Brown butter is kind of our thing. The soft serve with candied pecans, a bourbon caramel to finish off a meal of like overwhelming richness.
Here's a great tip. Most third-party delivery sites place a popular items module at the top of a restaurant's online menu. This module is usually populated automatically, showing off the items that your online customers have ordered the most.
Guests who haven't dined here, I think that's their first stop, is to take a look at what's popular. When I order, that's the first place I look. If a dish looks good, you're gonna be more inclined to eat it, you're gonna be more excited or happy. You'll probably enjoy it better because you've already set yourself up for that expectation that it's gonna be good.
For your guests, having different menus like breakfast, lunch, and dinner can make a meal's experience feel curated and take the pressure off deciding with one list of too many options.
I do think it's immensely beneficial to kind of design them both as their own experiences, whether you're coming in for a drink and a snack or you're coming in for a full dinner. We can kind of customize your experience however way that you want.
Plus, by separating your menus, you can optimize each menu for greater profit.
There are specific dishes that are available for lunch for that purpose, right? They're quick to execute, they're relatively filling, they kind of present a really good value to our guests.
It doesn't matter if they have $10 million in their bank or $10. They're choosing to give that to me. So each person has the right to that perfect service.
There you go. Thank you so much. It's amazing. I'll be back soon. Hey, I can't wait to see you again, man.
We hope you found this helpful in making the most of your menu. Thanks for watching. For more resources, you can always visit us at Toast Central or download the Toast Now app, where we have resources available to you 24/7.